So I wanted to show this to you as well, because I was mentioning about the seawall. So that is the property there with the floating dock and the canvas side. And if you look just underneath that canvas, I don't know how well I can make it come out in the video, not the one with the boat, but the one with the canvas there, it does have that corrugated seawall. So that should be a bonus for you there. And then I also wanted to show you, let me drive all the way down to the end here. Because I wanted to show you all the way in the very back of this community. And everybody's house here is very well maintained. When Kathy and I drove through here Saturday, everybody had very well maintained homes, very well maintained yards. I really wasn't seeing anything that would strike me odd. And please don't mind my dirty windshield. But there's some more modern homes in here, some older homes in here, things like that. But if we come all the way to the end here, the building that is right in front of us, I believe, is the clubhouse itself. So if that's probably where they have like their HOA meetings and whatnot. And then this little turn off here, down. This little turn off here is the community boat ramp here, and we've got like a parking area here. So that's the community offered stuff for Lake Harris Shores. So if you wondered what your HOA entails, it probably entails the maintenance of this boat dock, this boat ramp here, as well as the clubhouse and the parking area and everything. So I just wanted you to get a feel for all of that. This is 26619 Bimini. This is the house with the HOA. It does have a 1-car garage, and it does have a wrought iron fence all the way around. It is on a cul-de-sac, so that's the end. And again, this one's set up a lot like the one on Cedar is, in that every home has waterfront here. And when we get to the backyard, I will tell you now, and just in case, but I like the fact that these canals are so much bigger and wider, so they kind of take effect of the fact that, or they're taking into account the fact that you've got 2 homes, so one does not have to wait for the other to vacate the navigable waterway. So, and then this also has like a lean-to, or one of those plastic sheds here. It looks like they've got some blocks in front of it. Can't tell if it opens. Yeah, I think it opens on this side. So I would assume that that stays. However, if you want it to stay, then we should definitely ask about it to confirm. And then it's got a 1-car garage. And again, it's got some pretty flowers here, but I will say that these flowers are fake. So just so you know, but you've got some rocks here. It looks like it's pretty well maintained, and you've got a tree. So not too much in the way of landscaping. There's some aloe there and there. I don't know if that's staying or not. So that's something we would have to ask for. So coming in, this is the front Florida room, and probably at one point this used to be open like a front screen porch, and it has since been enclosed. And I will have to turn lights on as I go because I do not have Kathy here with me today. There is an outlet there on the side of this, what used to probably be a window. It is now finished off. And of course, a step up right here to come into the main area. So, that's that one. Okay, I'll have to find a light switch here. Let me see. This might be a 3-way and it just happens to be off. There's some hi-hats over here that are dimmable. Oh, let's see if this is it. Maybe. All right, I don't know how to turn this light on at this moment, but this would be the living room. And it already has a wall mount for the television there. And I get this from a different angle for you. And I'm gonna zoom out just so you get a better view because it's kind of dark in here or in this part. Let's see if I can find some lights for the kitchen. Well, not sure what every light switch does here, but this is the kitchen. These are still Formica countertops. They are not granite. However, they do have that granite look. So that's kind of nice from a finished look standpoint. It also has like one of those wine cooler fridges on this side, although it looks like it's either the door isn't fully set or it's not fully in there properly underneath here. And it does have a way to sit at the countertop with regular height stools. These are not high top stools. And it has the dishwasher, the stove, and a microwave. And then I'm gonna go back to a 1-to-1 ratio for you. So that way you kind of get a little bit better idea. So not a very big kitchen, but honestly, if you're looking at this from a short-term rental aspect, I don't know how big a kitchen you would really need. And over here, it looks like this is a pantry. Yeah, so you've got a pantry here for food storage. And they've got like little bags hanging on the back here. And then this door here goes out to the garage. So we've got a 1-car garage here. And this is a standard 1-car, nothing very fancy about it, but you do have a step down here. This door goes out to the side of the house. And this would be looking back up towards the house. There, when you park in the garage or when you come into the garage, there's a step up here. And then we go into this room here, which looks like this would have been the laundry room. I do not see a washer and dryer in here, but it does have the little vent exit thing. And then you've got your water heater, which is a good quality brand water heater, and your AC unit. I don't know, I'm looking to see. This is a pretty, yeah, this is a hybrid water heater. See how it says hybrid here? I have one similar to this in my house. Basically, if you have it in hybrid mode or in pump only mode, it will utilize the heat in the room to warm the water or to heat the water, and then when it vents out, it actually vents out cool air, making this room actually cooler than what it would be otherwise. So a hybrid water heater, that's what it does. It works half off like an electric water heater and half off of like a heat pump system. My water heater, and I don't know if this one's that fancy or not, but mine will allow us to run heat pump only. So we're actually not using the elements fully inside the machine, prolonging the life of the elements and everything. And then they also have on their AC here a UV air treatment system. During COVID, a lot of people got these things. I'm sure you've heard about them where you are as well. So, and then it's plumbed up and out and into the rest of the house. And then this here is just a storage closet with some racks. They've obviously got paint in here. But if you don't want to keep paint in here or touch-ups for the rental that you're going to be using this for, you can maybe store some things here. This one does have a lock on the inside. I would just put a keyed lock on the outside if you don't want people accessing it. So if we come back into the main part of the house, figure out what this wood again in here. Okay. Looking for all the light switches here. So they do have a remote there. I do believe that remote works this fan. but I don't know if it doesn't have batteries in it or what, because it wasn't working. So I'm gonna suspect that there's probably no batteries in it. But then if off the living room here, we are now walking into the hallway where the 2 bedrooms are. Now both these bedrooms are carpeted, but the rest of the house is this laminate or vinyl flooring. So obviously this room, being the bright pink that it is, would probably need to be painted, unless you want pink dragons everywhere. And then we've got our standard bifold door closet here. Now this closet does stick in a little bit to the room. So as far as usable wall space, I would say that's probably like 9 to 10 feet by probably, I'd say it's probably 9 feet to maybe 11 feet on this side. And then of course you've got the window that overlooks the side. Now this is an ensuite bathroom. So we're back to the same flooring that's out there, it looks like. And you've got a shower tub combination here. The window with privacy glass, which is nice. An updated vanity. And of course, your toilet, and they even have a little overhead medicine cabinet there. So out of this room, down the hallway again, here to my right is an actual linen closet. So again, a place to store towels and linens and stuff for whatever, short-term rental you're going to have here. And then if you don't want people just having willy-nilly access out of lock to the outside. But coming farther down the hallway here, we do have a second bathroom. Give me just a moment. I think the water's just being kind of funny colored, but I don't like having the toilet seat up if I can help it. So again, newer vanity, shower tub combination, privacy glass in the window, newer vanity and lights. And then this room does not have an extra storage area, but what it does have is a mirror back here. So this is an actual medicine cabinet, like the old style medicine cabinet. But the glass, the mirror itself, seems to be in really good shape, which is unusual for older style medicine cabinets. So that's kind of good to see. And they have kind of a cool little rope thing here to hang your towels on. And then coming off the bathroom to the other bedroom again. This looks like it's just a mirror image of the other bedroom. So I'm going to zoom back out. You've got the side glass that goes to the side yard, and then this window that goes to the front yard, and again, your bifold door closet. So, and I would say that this is the same dimensions as the other one. So maybe 8 to 9 feet by 11 feet or so approximately. So now if we come back through here and through the kitchen, we get to the back area. Now there is a bifold door, like almost like a farm style door here. See, it's got the farm style door. So you could close this particular room off if you wanted to, and make it into like a secondary area. But you've got all these built-in bookcases and everything. It looks like they used to have some musical instruments hung there. This is plumbed with the AC. And you've got these beautiful slider doors here. So lots of ability to overlook the canal. And then off this room, let's see if I can figure out these lights. Okay, so off of that room, we now have this long carpeted room. So again, probably only 8 to 9 feet there, but this here, as far as usable space, is probably about 15 feet, I would say. Give or take a couple of feet. I'm obviously eyeballing this. And then what you see right there, if I had to guess, I have not been in the bathroom on this one, but this is a 3rd bedroom and a 3rd bathroom. So I believe that this was an add-on at some point. But this right there is probably access to the plumbing in the bathroom, if I had to guess. So there is a possibility at one point that maybe they had a plumbing issue, they had it resolved, but instead of having to tear out the entire bathroom to fix the issue, a lot of times they'll do this to help alleviate that. So coming in here, oh, let me go back to one real fast, just so you kind of get a better idea. Let me back all the way out. Okay, so this would be like walking in. It's got its own like mini hallway thing. And then you walk in to the bedroom. You've got the bathroom there and a closet here. And this is a walk-in closet. And it's got double shelving, the lower and upper shelving. So only on the 2 walls. So the back wall and the side wall here. And it is carpeted as well. And honestly, I don't see any marks in these carpets to indicate that, it indicates to me that this carpet is brand new and more recently changed, not that they had something in here for a long time that has put a permanent indent into the carpet. These 2 windows would overlook the backyard again, so you've got the view. And then this window would overlook the other side yard. But coming into here, into the bathroom, there's a little itty bitty step up. Oh, that's the vent fan. Okay, so there's a little step up here. And then we've got a medicine cabinet on the wall, updated lights and vanity, and then a garden tub with one of those really fancy shower head things, and the privacy glass, which is nice. So you can have some natural light in here. And honestly, that's not a bad thing, because this bathroom, the only lights that it has are these 2. And to be honest, I mean, I would probably change out the light bulbs to something maybe a little brighter, because at night this could be rather dark. But then again, maybe that's all the light you need at night, because you don't want to blind yourself if you're having to come in here for something. And then they have this funky shower towel holder thing. Obviously, these people had some fun ideas. So again, the garden tub here and the vanity. And then it looks like they added on a bidet. So if we come out of this bedroom, so my only question would be, and I do believe it probably was permitted, most likely, just based on what I'm seeing, but I would want to confirm that with looking for those permits. Now, these sliding glass doors, they slide like butter. They're heavy, but they're smooth. So that's really nice. Then you've got your outer back porch area here, which is screened in. It's got a very tall ceiling, and that fan right there, which I'm sure when it's on probably moves a ton of air. Again, your side yard, the backyard, and the other side yard. And they've got a couple of Adirondack chairs out here. So we will go out this way. Now this is a concrete pad here, so it is part of the house. Oop, spider web. All right, so the blind mosquitoes are out today. With that being said, so this fencing goes all the way around to there. So you do have a fenced backyard by comparison, but you see how wide this canal is? Like, that's really nice, because it means that the guy over there and this guy over here can both get their boats out without much issue or without bumping into each other, because there's enough waterway here for both to do the same thing. Looks like those people are getting ready to have a dock put in. Basically, you're almost at the very end of the canal over here. So it goes out this way, and then it will go to the left, and then to the left, you end up in Lake Harris. And I can't remember if it's Little Lake Harris or Big Lake Harris, but it's one of the two lakes. So this still takes you out to the chain of lakes, but it's not Lake Griffin like what you're used to over in Leesburg, just so you know. But still navigable lakes, part of the chain, so you've got all that going. And then it looks like they've got a floating dock on pontoons right there. And that looks like that's made out of the composite stuff again. And then you've got this little walkway dock here. And this looks like it's still the wood. It looks like it's in good shape, really. Even with the, let me see if I can get out. It's got a vine on it. Come on. Oh no, killing the vine, killing the vine. Ugh, I hate vines. All right, so this dock looks to be in pretty good shape. Let me walk it real fast. I'm not finding any kind of soft spots or anything. So I would say it's pretty solid, really. And then you've got your boat lift here with your little boat house. So let me get back up here so I can show it to you. Try and do this and be careful not to drop my phone. So let me come over here so you can see. So then they've got this boat house here, which has like a metal shed roof type thing on it. And it's got the canvas on the side here to help keep the sun and stuff away. And then of course your boat lift itself, and it looks like it's got canvas on the end there too. So if somebody was parking their boat in here, they could at least close it off on two sides. I did not see canvas on the third side, or obviously this side facing in. And then on this side, it looks like this side's less used, but you've got a dock thing here, and then another floating dock there, which the floating dock again looks like it's made out of the composite material, and it has the moorings to attach. So now this side still looks solid, to be fair, but I wouldn't say it's as well used or well maintained as the other one. The other side of this definitely looks like it's the more used side, just based on what I'm seeing. The other thing I'd like for you to take note of here, now not every home is this way, and I can't 100% tell if this one is, but I think it is. You see how the seawall across the way here is kind of that metal corrugated stuff? I think that the seawall for this one is that stuff. So that's a bonus. Whereas like I thought, well, every person's going to be that way, but then this guy doesn't. He has an older seawall of some kind that looks like it does need a little bit of help, but we won't go there anyway. But it looks like for the most part, people all have the same kind of corrugated metal looking seawall, which is good. And then of course, while I'm over here, you've got this big, beautiful magnolia tree. So you've got some beautiful magnolias. And then of course, you've got the gate ending there. And both sides of the gate from the front yard to the backyard, or both sides of the fence have gates. That's what I'm trying to say. So that is this house. And this is the one that's in the HOA. They've got some gutters running, which is good for erosion situations. So that's nice. And like I said, they've got the little area there with the Adirondack chairs for sitting. But it's nice that it has kind of this extra kind of secret space, maybe for adults, and put their kids in the front half or something like that. And I really like these sliders because, like I said, they're heavy, they're solid, but they're smooth, and they are double paned. So just like that. So, and I don't know what all the HOA regulations are in this community. Definitely can send you that information if you're interested enough in this property. I would love to send that extra information to you to make sure that you can live and survive with the HOA requirements. But I do believe, if I recall correctly, when we were having a conversation, that they require a minimum of a 6-month rental, which depending on when you rent it out may not be a bad thing, because you could get a snowbird who plans to be here for 6 months. You know, maybe they come down from the north. Usually they show up about September, October, and then they leave typically around April-ish. So it may not, it may actually work out, and it may not be such a bad deal after all. So that is Bimini. Okay, so I love secret rooms. I'm glad that you reminded me about this. I did come back out here for it. Today has obviously been a Monday of Mondays for me, and my brain is completely discombobulated. So if I look closely, it does have the markings down there like it's supposed to open. And if we open it up, it basically just comes into a very long, well, not very long, but a room that's basically the same size as these built-ins. So, like the same width. So realistically, if these are, it's hard to tell in there. So if this is like an 8 or 9 foot wide room, then that room in there is 9 feet by whatever the size of this built-in is approximately. So probably by 3 feet. I think that they just built the built-in as part of, like, to kind of give a secret room on purpose, because they're probably like me and absolutely love secret rooms. So with that being said, there's nothing behind here, just so you know. It's on a wheel. You've got some electric, but there's nothing behind here. So if you wanted to conceivably, let me zoom out a little bit while I'm talking to you. If you wanted to conceivably, you could take out these built-ins, and then this room would actually be that much longer. But the other thing that I am noticing is, and maybe that's part of the reason why they did it, or maybe you can push these built-ins back a little bit, is that the floor in that corner right there is not really finished. So maybe having a secret room is a good idea. You could like store more stuff back here. And then they obviously have some kind of like motion sensor on that. So that is the secret room. I am so sorry I missed it the first time, but there it is. And hopefully I haven't missed any more secret rooms that we maybe don't know about. But that is the secret room. So.